As you probably all know, my dad is Dr. Billings. Throughout my years at the Abbey, I've been asked countless times about what it is like growing up in the CD department. My childhood was just like any other kid's. We'd play football games, he'd take me to swim lessons, and sit through karate classes. My favorite pastime was watching the Patriots with him. But we also had Bible study at 5 in the morning every day, followed by 3 hours of church. No, I'm just kidding. With my dad being the head of Christian doctrine here, church and religion has been an ever-present topic in my life. However, I didn't understand it at all when I was little. My dad would take me to church on Monday mornings, but all it meant to me was I got to miss some school. Naturally, I loved it. As I grew up, church just became a habit because of how often my family went. I still didn't know why I was going or comprehend it. Over time, it went from a chance to miss school to a missed sleep in. As a result, I didn't care for church, except for when the Patriots were playing and I thought some prayers could help them. When I was in 6th grade, my eldest brother, Fen, announced he was an atheist. Dinners then were always loads of fun. My dad and my brother would go back and forth about their beliefs, and I'd just sit there, wishing I could go watch the football game. I would even have rather watched the Browns play the Jets than listen to my dad. However, part of Ben's atheist gig was that he didn't have to go to church. Now that caught my attention. Instead of learning from my dad alone, I started asking Ben more about what he believed, or didn't. By 4th form year, I was seeing things more from his perspective. Then, he went off to college. Without his constant badgering, I didn't have much reason to think about atheism anymore. Although I may not have enjoyed church all the time, one reading always stood out to me. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving each other, just as God in Christ also has forgiven you. Ephesians 4:32. While I may not necessarily believe everything in this faith, lessons like these have been ingrained in me since my childhood, and I've leaned upon them ever since. When I hear passages like these, it makes me grateful to have grown up within the church. So, where do I stand now on this? To be honest, I haven't the slightest clue, and that's fine. Most of us in high school have no idea where we stand on a lot of things yet. This is the right time to be asking questions and keeping our minds open. What's school for but to teach us to think? Even the inscription from Father Ambrose on the stone down near Tuck says, "Live the questions." In just 4 months, I'll be leaving this place. I won't have anyone advising me what to do. Without that guidance, I admit I personally feel slightly lost. Part of me can't wait to leave, and part of me is afraid to leave this place I've called home for 17 years. As I begin to leave the nest, I find comfort in the presence of the Abbey, just as I do in my dad's constant faith. I know that if I stumble in college, I always have the influences from the Abbey to lean upon. Whenever I decide to forego my homework, I'll remember Luke's chiding and use of physical force to get me to study. When I hear something about abortion or contraception, I'll remember those uncomfortable faith in church classes. When I would ask my dad if I could use the bathroom, then not return for 30 minutes. Whenever I struggle understanding something, I'll remember Dr. Zinz's unwavering help and unrelenting patience. When I make a mistake, I'll hear Mr. Mafi's voice saying, "Short-term memory," and move on. Whatever I do, I know my dad will support me. Through the whirlwind of high school and flip-flopping of beliefs, I find comfort in the constancy my dad and the Abbey provide. Even as I become independent, I know that the Abbey will always be there, just as my dad's faith has been. While my dad hasn't yet totally instilled his faith in me, he did manage to create my faith in the Patriots. So, Dad, I guess there's still hope. Thank you.